Well, it's finally time we take a look at X-Men: Days of Future Past. Does this movie hold up after 5 years, or will it be bad?
And we stand together. X-Men.
Time to take a look at X-Men: Days of Future Past, and I love this movie. I honestly really do. So what's the plot of this movie? Well, it takes place in the future where basically there's this new army of Sentinels. Basically what they're able to do is that they're an army of robots that can adapt to mutants, and they're trying to wipe out all mutants due to their programming. Basically, since Mystique killed Bolivar Trask, their programming is to wipe out all mutants. So it's up to the X-Men to go back in time. Well, they're sending Wolverine to go back in time to team up with the young Charles and young Eric to stop Mystique from killing Trask, thus making sure the Sentinels never exist. So, what do I think of this movie? There was not a single moment in this movie where I was all like, come on, movie, I know you're going to fail me, movie. Nope, that never happened. Like, I love basically almost everything about this movie. This is probably my top 10 of favorite Marvel movies, and probably my top 10 favorites of superhero movies. I mean, I will admit, I do have one problem with the movie. I do think we could have used a little bit more Quicksilver and a little bit more Peter Dinklage as Bolivar Trask. Seriously, let me explain those two characters real quick. Bolivar Trask is a real good character in my opinion. I like how he's not like Stryker, who's basically a mutant hunting Nazi. Here, Bolivar is an actual human being. Basically, he doesn't hate mutants. In fact, it says he admires them, but he is scared about what could happen if mutants become dangerous. So he only builds the Sentinels just in case. I mean, he likes mutants, but he just wants to keep the world safe and sound. That's a good character right there, and Peter Dinklage does a phenomenal job. And then, of course, there's Evan Peters as Quicksilver. So, he's perfect. Like, seriously, it does make me a little upset that we won't get to see this Quicksilver in the MCU. I mean, we did get to see Quicksilver, but it is kind of unfortunate that Magneto wasn't there. But still, he is just perfect in this role. And that kitchen scene where he's like running around is just one of the greatest moments in any superhero movie, period. And of course, the other returning cast is great as always. Hugh Jackman and other characters are really good. And I like how they actually give Kitty Pryde more to do in this movie than what she did in Last Stand. Basically, her entire role in Last Stand was to be a part of a love triangle. Here, I like how it was her reasoning. Like, basically, the reason why Wolverine is able to go back in time is due to her powers evolving, able to send Wolverine's conscience back in time. And of course, Patrick Stewart's good as always, Ian McKellen's good as always, and other actors. And also, I like how we get characters like Sunspot, Blink, Warpath, and of course, Mob and Bishop. And like, Iceman is able to do the ice slide. That opening scene was brutal. Like, seriously, any moment with the Sentinels and any action scene is just perfect, honestly. Whenever the X-Men are facing the Sentinels, you are on the edge of your seat, especially in the first scene, where there's a moment where one of the Sentinels grabs Iceman by the throat, cuts his head off, and squashes it like a melon when he's in ice mode. That is a brutal death scene. I'm not gonna lie. And of course, there's the cast returning from First Class are still great as always. Especially the star of this movie is James McAvoy as the young Charles Xavier. In First Class, it was Fassbender who stole the show. And here, it was McAvoy's time to shine. The way they portray him being this down-on-his-luck man who is taking this drug that can make sure he can walk again at the cost of his powers is so well done. And the scene where he is able to interact with the future Charles Xavier is just perfect in my opinion, and it was a really well done scene. And of course, the action is great as always, like I previously said, and I just adored this movie. the setting, the costume design is really well done, and you feel like you're in the future, and each is so dang good in my opinion. The Sentinels look perfect, honestly. I'll admit they do remind me a little bit of the Destroyer from the first Thor movie, especially when they do that whole heat blast attack. But they still look awesome in my opinion, and they do bring a great tension to the battles in my opinion. And also, Blink's powers is actually kind of creative. Like the best time they showed her powers was when she threw something and made Iceman do the ice slide. And people complain that why wasn't it Bishop who went back in time like when it was in the comic? Well, think about it. We just got introduced to Bishop. So they would have to spend an entire time developing this new character. But we already have Wolverine, who was already a pre-established character, so yeah. And also, that ending, it basically made me go, it was like Bryan Singer sent a letter to Brett Ratner telling him to, you are a loser, Brett Ratner. Though it does kind of upset me that Cable is not in this movie as one of the future X-Men, since Cyclops and Jean are dead. Cyclops and Jean are dead. Seriously, thank you, Brett Ratner. We could have had something awesome. But still, 2014 was a great year for Marvel besides this. No, don't get me wrong. This movie was awesome, but Marvel was also out doing good in 2014. We had Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yes, I like this movie. Shut up. Okay, if you don't like this movie, that's fine, but I personally love this movie. Overall, I'm definitely going to give X-Men and Days of Future Past a solid 10 out of 10. It is a masterpiece, and I adore this film so dang much. It's like, seriously, there's not much for me to talk about that hasn't already been said. Also, I want to say there's one scene in the road cut is really well done. Basically, there's a moment where Magneto was breaking in to get his stuff, and they cut back to the present Magneto trying to help the X-Men. So it's a good back and forth. Also, since the X-Men were able to go back in time to stop the Sentinels from being made, there's something I have to do. There's something I have to stop from being made.
Zack Snyder, I present you the script for Batman vs. Superman. Oh, thank you. Let me see this.
Okay, nope. I'm not letting this movie happening.
You're welcome, DC fans. You're welcome.
Okay, I went back in time to stop Batman vs. Superman from being made, and I also went back in time to stop Steven Universe from being made. I couldn't stop. I did stop Steven Universe, but I couldn't show it due to the fact that I don't have enough money for an explosion effect. So, there goes Days of Future Past, and it gets an S rank for me. I love this movie to death, and I love rewatching this film. I really do. Overall, so join me next time as we take a look at the underrated movie that came out 3 years ago known as X-Men Apocalypse. See you all later, and bye.